Hello, Simmers. This is owning a restaurant. So, I've actually redone my restaurant 3 times now. Um, I'll tell you why in a minute. But I just wanted to give you a quick little view of the Dine Arts game. I think it's just the game pack. So you can go into your lessons and see Dine Out there. So restaurant ratings, funds, perks, dining out, ownership, employees. So I'm gonna explain all that to you now. So my sim called her cafe the Highmore Cafe. Um, with the one I can't remember which packet is. I'll have to go check. You can also buy a vet clinic, a retail store, and this is the buy restaurant, the knife and fork sign. Then when you go into build mode, this is what you expect. So all lots have requirements, and these are the requirements when you own a restaurant: sink, toilet, chef station, which is these here. So you can have a maximum of 2 chefs. And then the waiter station is these 2 cleaning stations, and then the host station is this. And then I've chosen for my lot traits, I've chosen a chef's kitchen, a homey, so it'll be better for cooking, mixology, handiness, and gardening, and then a sunny aspect. And then all of these with the knives and forks. This one is from bar 2. High top tables I've seen in the restaurant at the bars at bar 2. But all of these decors are from this pack. So you'll see a couple of the different ones. So you have to have a certain amount of tables. And then in live mode, there's a so these are the tips I can let you know. Having a smaller restaurant and the inside where you've put your tables is important. The bigger you have, the more demand it is to try and fill that space. So I've just filled this gap in the back section with the stuff from the eco living lifestyle so that it's eco friendly. And then I just made this pretty with decor. In the bathroom, I just made unisex because otherwise my sim can't go in there to clean. Then I put a fire and the aircon thing device so that I can monitor the temperature. So when you own a restaurant, I'm gonna press pause. The previous restaurant that I had outdoor seating. The problem with the outdoor seating is that when it rains and stuff, it causes a bit of an issue. I also had radio, TV, fireplace, and seating areas, and then the customers will go and sit down on the couch and chill, and they'll dance, and they'll sit by the fire, watch TV, and so then they're not they don't go there for the eating experience, and it takes forever. People have already complained, like, why does it take so long, like in real life when you're at a restaurant? So I decided to take out my outdoor section and reduce the actual indoor section. So that's the first thing. I did also do some research on Google. So here is the restaurant settings. So your price markup is quite important, but that also depends on what your menu is like. So I actually opt for changing my menu via the season. Sometimes I'll leave certain items and sometimes I'll add. But I find 150 is generally where they say, oh, this restaurant's well priced because it affects the customer's opinion on the restaurant. Then they recommend high advertising, but the problem with high advertising is that usually I make about 14 to $1,600 a day, and the wages alone, because I've promoted my staff too high. Another thing I've learned. I just feel like it's fair though, because they work hard jobs that I make them work at least 10 hours, so then they're at least getting adequately paid. Um, but yeah, then that doesn't even cover your income versus profits like if it was in real life. Then I just always choose local, GMO free, freshly harvested, plus 25% cost. But I mean, you're paying for quality, so like in real life you want to have the best quality. Then you can choose the outfits for your chefs, and you can add more, but I just generally make my chefs wear chef whites just because that's what it would be in real life. And then this tends to change. Sometimes I will choose the females to have a red top, and I pick and choose. And then also with the host outfits, then you can choose what your customers have to wear. So you can sell your restaurant, which I'm definitely not. It's at 5 stars at the moment. Then you have your menu. So I've read that having fewer items is better, and then I have more items that are a little bit more expensive, because if you work out, let's say, in the time frame, because they take forever to eat and actually order their food and eat and then pay, I figured by every 10th customer I've got to be at least over $1,500. So it's actually better to have fewer items, but less, like 25% are cheap, and then 75% are more expensive. You also have to look at the level of difficulty, because even if you hire your chefs, and then pay for their training, it still takes more time for them to actually cook or create whatever item is a 5/5 difficulty, as opposed to 1/5 difficulty. Catch, there is 1 level difficulty, let's say for lemonade, $12, sea of fire, $120. So it depends on how that goes. You can also choose like a theme, like if you want to go rustic, or if you want to go pasta and pizza, that kind of thing. So I go home style, and then I always like to add these the experimental dishes. That's actually how I got my Sim Lucy High More too. It's one of the household collections, and I actually put them all on the list at one point, and I made her sit down and eat at her restaurant, and then she was able to complete that collection. Also, what I feel like is realistic as well is to put stuff that is dairy free and lactose intolerant type of stuff as well, just because that's fair for like vegetarians and stuff. I always try and add vegetarian options, like there's whole wheat pancakes, normal pancakes, there's grilled cheese, there's pasta primavera. I usually add a veggie burger, there's a cheese pizza, veggie wasabi. So there's a couple of vegetarian dishes as well, which I think is quite cool. Then you have your shift summary. So this is what I was talking about, income versus profits. So your sales, even though they might be high, for some reason I don't know why my cost of ingredients is always quite high. Because I've got I'll show you now when I go to the perk points. I've got all the perk points where your cost of ingredients should be like at the lowest. But yeah, so that's already $156 deducted. Meal profits I've only made so far, and that's within 7 hours, is $643. And then look, the wages, $1,246. But like, I'd rather pay for the best. But so their wages end up being a lot, and then the advertising cost minus $73, and then net profit, I actually didn't even make a profit. Then you get these customer reviews: excellent service, personal touch, meal quality. So you have to, even if the chefs are trained, there's different levels of speed. Slowly, normal, carefully, or far quickly. Um, and I always just choose quickly, because I mean, when I choose slowly, then it literally takes forever and it's already a challenge. So, and the personal touch thing, I haven't quite figured out how to get that to excellence, because my sim welcomes every customer, and she checks on them, so I don't know how to make that better, but anyway. And then these are your employees, so you'll see they can be neutral, very satisfied, unhappy, and then you can give them inspirational speeches and praise and promotions and that sort of thing. So yeah, you have two chefs, one host and or hostess, and then three waiters or waitresses. Often you'll find that you're unfortunately finding that they're dying a lot for whatever causes. And then you have to hire a new one. And then if you go here, manage employees, you can see how much they each get paid. So my these are the choices to hire. So my two chefs are satisfied, and I would be household $50 an hour. Then Sienna's she's new. So you can fire them, demote them, or promote them. And then these are my waiters. So he hasn't reached the top of his skills yet. So um, this helps them interact better with the customers. So the customers will have stars above their head. Some of them can have a red star. So the number is what they would rate the cafe. So they all rate it 3. Then she's rating it 4. These are all 4, 3, and then we've got a 5 here. So see there, dollar. This place is great prices. Wow, this place is some nice decor. All this attention from the owners make me feel really special. Then when you interact with your staff, manage, you can pay for their training. The first one is $75, then it's $350, and then $750. Promote, praise, give her inspirational speeches I got from the perks. Fire, demote, criticize, check up on, and then there's the cooking request. So they aren't careful at the moment. Then you earn points, and when you earn points, it goes to your restaurant perks, and it just helps. Like here, I can choose to take advantage of the cost of ingredients is discounted for 24 hours, and then this one's a meal rush. So those ones come and go quite all the time, frequently. And then the other one is tidy tippers, which is what I'm trying to reach. So that's why I'm leaving my points to increase, but I've got all the rest. The chef's hat unlocks an additional chef, so you can have 2 chefs. Well managed lowers the chance of bad events when your sim isn't there, although it still happens. Well funded foodies, sims will choose the higher costed food. Curious customers, that you can recommend dishes to them, and then you can make them take the higher, more expensive dishes. Then unlocking additional chefs, waiters, and patient patrons, so the customers are patient and waiting. Inspirational speech, giving all your management personal inspirational speech to make them more inspired to work better, and then fast eaters, accepting that never happens. On that note, the tips that I figured out, okay, so the mistakes I made with my previous one, I wanted to make it look really, really homey. I actually put on the gallery, but for functionality and profits, it didn't work out. In this front section here, I made it like outdoor friendly, like there was outdoor seating and the cooler box, and then they're basically taking advantage of the free drinks and free food and stuff. So then I was like, okay, let me get rid of that. Then they were complaining about the decor and the ambience. So then I decided to take out all the outdoor seating, and that was just like chilled seating. That was also the problem. That wasn't actually there for them to sit down and eat. So that was the one problem. And then, as I said, you had the problem of them sitting outside, getting wet in the rain, or if there's a thunderstorm, if it's too cold. So I just decided to make it inside, and then I thought, let me see if I make the inside area smaller, if that actually helps it increase the chance of getting a better profit. And it actually has helped a lot. And then I don't have one at the moment, but earlier I had 3 food critics in the restaurant at once. Um, so they have like a little leaf tag thing on top there, just underneath the star where it says for. It'll say underneath the star, just above the head, in between the head and the star, it says food critic, and then you have to try and treat them with extra special attention. But this is what it looks like. So I thought if you play it on ultra speed, it just makes it easier for gameplay, which it does. But it actually doesn't help with. I found out just by chance with playing that having it on the first, what's it called, normal speed, um then the simmers, actually the customers, they eat slower. They not slower, but they just eat better, and then you get more customers in instead of taking forever and being on fast speed, but then actually having no customers. So see, there was plus 18. So then that goes to your meal profits, but I still have customer count at 5. So that's also one thing, turning off the radio every now and then. Otherwise, they like to just stand there and dance. So now I'm gonna turn it off for a bit. Yeah, and they'll randomly do sit ups and whatever. And oh, the most annoying one is playing with clay. There you go. This guy, Darian, is playing with clay. It always makes me so irritated. And then this is the little chef's restaurant. So, yeah, that's my little kitchen, and that's the dine out. And then, oh, to actually experience the thing, you arrive at whatever restaurant you're at, and then you go to the hostess table, and then you say request a table. Then they'll take you to a table, you sit down, and then you'll say order for table. And then you can order dessert, and then you pay for your meal. So, like here, this little girl's actually my granddaughter. So she's curious. She's got the question mark. So then, because she's a child, she can't have alcohol and stuff. So then I'll recommend lemonade, and for a little girl, cheese pizza. And then her mom will probably join her. So that is dine out.